Hi everybody, and welcome to video 4 in our Red Velvet series. Now this is my design team project for LineDotArrow. It's also a collaboration project with LineDotArrow and several other Facebook groups. Now there's going to be, of course, challenges for the first 3 weeks of the month, and each week there'll be a challenge. Fourth week is for you to catch up, so there's no challenge and there's no video. At the beginning of the week on Saturdays, there's going to be a video from Nathalie showing you how she does something with the freebies. We'll talk about the freebies in just a second. And so you need to go and watch that every Sunday, then on or Saturday, and then we're also going to be releasing freebies from the following groups. Of course, the LineDotArrow Junk Journal group and Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, Junk Journals, Tutorials, and More Facebook group, and TwoSistersJam Facebook group. So the way that you get to those, there's one central Linktree link that gets you to them. And then you can just click on each one and go and get your freebies. We made it easier this time. And also there are drawings. So how do you get in the drawings? Well, you use either the papers from the kit or the freebies or a combination thereof, and you make something, not necessarily the freebie challenge, but whatever you want, or the challenge. If you use the freebies in the kit, you get 2 entries. If you use just the kit papers, you get 2 entries into the drawing at the end of the month, which is going to be actually on, the drawing's going to be on the 5th, but it's going to close on the 3rd, the entries. Because we started late this month, so we're going a few days late into next month, but the challenges for next month are actually going to start on the 4th. We'll go through all that in the update video that I do for my 2 Facebook groups at the end of the month for the following month. Now, what was I saying? Oh, you either, if you use just the freebies, you only get 1 entry into the drawing. Each group is having a drawing, so there's 3 prizes in each group. There's 4 groups. That makes 12 prizes. So you can win once in each group, but you can't win more than 1 time in each group. So you have a potential of winning 4 prizes. So that's pretty cool. You just post your pictures in each group, and then you're good to go. I got glue on me already. Where's it a cut? Ooh, paper cut. So the kits that are involved are the Red Velvet kit, which is the main kit that I'm using. That's why I'm calling it Red Velvet. I was adding in some of the tags and, the papers from the Vintage Old Script Ephemera paper pack. I haven't cut those out yet. Now that I get into it, this is kind of dark, which is cool, but we're going to take the darker pages from here, and I've gone ahead and added the photographer's work, which is the 3rd kit, and we've got some pages that have the same colors, and in fact this one is the same paper in the center as our Red Velvet kit, so I've thrown some of these in as well. So it's just a hodgepodge of all 3 kits. All 3 of these kits you can get at the LineDotArrow Etsy shop, and they're all on sale for 30% off for this month. Okay. Now, let me paper clip these and set them to the side. Okay, so now we've got our book put together. We've done pages 1, 2. I need a card. 3 and 4. We're going to make tags for here, and we need a tag for the inside of our flip-up belly band. We've got our little acetate pocket. So we're going to look at these tags here, and we're going to see what we can do. I think on this one we'll do some that swing by hooking them together with a brad. So I like this one for the front. I think I like this one for a second. And I'd like to do 3 together. Is this one larger? I think I'll do the really big one. Let's go ahead and go for it. Let's do the really big one in the back. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to ink them up just a little bit, because when we poke the hole, it's not going to be the full size of this opening, and I don't want the opening to be white. It's easier to ink it before than it is after. So let's do these 3, and we'll start with those. And then in the interest of time, I'll make some a tag to go in there, and I'll probably layer this tag onto another tag, and then take some of this smaller ephemera and put them on this tag, hopefully in some sort of an interesting way. Okay. All right. So we'll set that to the side, and I'll put this over here because it says page 3 for the tags. And I'll put that back up there. So for this, shoot, I need to ink the tags. And they're all printed on the back. This one was part of one of the collage papers. Not all of them are, I don't think. And normally, well, we'd have to do that before we put it together, wouldn't we? I was going to say I'd like to do some stenciling on the back, especially of this big card. Make it, but it has this interest on it for writing. So I don't guess I need to stencil on this one, even though I could. Is this color going to show up against this? I think it would. This one I think I'll leave. That one as well. That one's so big, I think we should do something. Did I stencil the front? No. I mean ink the front. That little gray mat is the media mat from Tim Holtz, and it's well worth the $10 to get the full roll. It comes in a roll, and you can cut the pieces into any size you want, or you can cut the roll into any size you want. Or does it come in 8.5 by 11 sheets? No, it comes in a roll, and you can get 3 for $30, or I think 1 for like $12. I went ahead and got the 3 for $30, and I've only cut up 1. But it's for keeping things still. You can also put your paper on it and hold it still while you're stenciling. Works good for that. And I like it a lot. It's come in very handy for inking. That way your ink does not slide around on the surface, because I'm using a glass surface. So it would be sliding around everywhere. We had the discussion before about using this dauber, which is actually a blending tool, to do this side inking, and that's why the pieces of foam come flying off, because we're using it improperly. This is a blending tool for inking, or probably even chalks, I would think. So let's get this out real quick. And let's just kind of stencil down the side that doesn't have the rows. Yeah. We won't do it very dark. Or we will and it won't matter. And it won't matter how far we go in because it'll just fade. Do you see what I mean? We'll just fade it out. So we'll make the edge darker by going over it several times. And then we will just kind of go over this and it will lightly fade out. Like so. I think that looks better. So now we're going to punch holes in all of these. Let's get the centers lined up. I think I'm going to do them one at a time. I'm going to go on the bigger hole, or the bigger hole punch. And you see how it leaves the area around. So that's a really large hole. I'm not sure even a regular hole punch, which is just a smidge bigger, would do a better job. Let's put this here. And we'll take our pencil and we'll draw a circle. And that's where we'll punch out. And we'll take a brad. Gold brad. My gold ones are kind of bright. I wonder if we should use a silver one. Oh, for goodness sakes. I'm going to have to put these in a different bag. Look at that. It's a zip bag and I can't get it undone. I know how to fix that problem. And put them in a little zip bag. Now we don't have time to do it on this set of videos because we're going to run out of time actually. I should have done it on this smaller hole. I don't know what I was thinking. Then I'm going to do it sideways and I'm going to open it. Then I'm going to press it tight. But they'll still be able to swing especially because it's on the bigger hole. So we're going to do something on this one. I think we have enough time. I like that one. Everything I have is either really small. Here we go. I should wait till I print out the ephemera for the other kit, because it may have some lighter things that I can mix in with this. That's a possibility. All right, let's do that. Let's just wait. We'll come back to it, or I'll just do it off camera. I'm just going to put some ephemera on here, and on here, down here in this corner, maybe a date, you know, something like that. And then this one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that one. I'll have to decorate that one as well. This one looks like it's screaming out for a die cut. So I might do that. So that's how we hook those together. Oops. And then we will put them in this big pocket. And I'm going to have the top two, whoops, the top two hang out. Maybe just the top one. Yeah, we'll have the top one open. I may have to bend it back a little bit. Yeah, that's better. To get it like that. Then we've got to put a tag over here. And then a card underneath. Boy, I better start keeping track of this, huh? So on the next page, page 5, got more manila folder. Come here. This is going to be our paper, and you'll see why in just a minute. Then these all go on this. This is going to go on here, and it's going to go on as a pocket. Our open side is to the left. There's a pocket in between that's going to need a card with a tab. So when we put this on as a pocket, we're going to have to start it from this side and make it a little bit farther back so that we can cut a thumb hole in it and still grab it where this has the tab coming out. Now, I haven't decided if we're going to need a tie or not. If we need a tie, it's going to go through the middle or around the middle, and then we don't want any tabs in the middle. So I may put a tab up here and a tab down there. We've got the two side pockets, and so I may do that with them anyway, just as a preemptive thing, or I may wait and make the cards last after I see what we do with the front cover. We may not need a closure at all. It may just kind of stick up a little bit, but we'll see. So on page 5, what we're going to do, let me paper clip these together. Well, actually, we need this one. Isn't that pretty? That one's from the photographer's kit. Photographer's work, I think it's called. No, we don't need this. Because we've got this. Now I did have to cut this down. Page 5 is a little narrower. So remember to measure always when we have a little book like that. that we've cut from manila folders, sometimes some pages end up a little narrower than others. So you're going to want to make sure that when we cut things that we didn't end up making the page narrower. You don't want to go ahead and build everything on your page, of course, and then have everything be messed up. So what I want to do is I want to make this fit the butterfly and this, a little bit of this showing, but not the width of the page. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to, and I want to have the writing and everything, so I want it to come down the full length of the page, and we don't have to worry about the 1/2 inch for the flip, because we've got this to do the flip for us. Okay, so this is going to be another flip, but it's going to be a flip pocket and not a flip belly band. And we are also going to do something a little bit different on the inside. We're not going to put pockets on the inside. All right, so let's cut this first, and then we'll match this up to it. Believe it or not, these are the only 3 scraps I have so far from what we've done. Not a lot to choose from, huh? Several manila folder pieces, but as far as regular pieces go, quote unquote. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks good. Could have made this side a smidge wider, but this notebook and butterfly makes it obviously wider on that side, so I think we're going to be fine here. Oh my goodness, I think it's my design team thing. We're getting the freebie pictures for this today to upload. And I'm sure that's what it is, because Nathalie is in the Netherlands and she's 9 hours ahead of me. And it's 7 in the morning, so it's 4 in the afternoon for her. So she knows a lot of us are in the US and the UK. Well, the UK is only 8 hours ahead, only. The reason I know that is because the Pacific time zone is in -8. And Great Britain, some of it, is in the 0 time zone. And then the Netherlands is a +1, and we're -8. So -8 and a +1. If you're going to go to it, so you got 8. And then +1 is 9, so it's 9 hours. So that's for all you people that got information that you didn't want to know while I was inking. Okay, so we want this to be here. So let's mark it here and here. And then the length, now remember we didn't cut anything off the length, so we need the length to be, we're going to have to cut a little bit off the length. Darn it. We'll do a little off the top and a little off the bottom. Otherwise, the file folder, when we make that little 1/8 inch border across the top and the bottom, is going to end up being longer than the page. And it's going to hang down. So we need to make this shorter by about the amount the border is going to be. Maybe a smidge more. So that way it will be shorter than the page would have been. Then once we cut this, we'll test it against the full page. Now that we've trimmed this, we want this to be about, well, I really would like it to be a little bit longer. Because I want to be able to see this. Yes, we have to stencil. Maybe I should have cut this ahead of time. Maybe I'll put you on pause since you saw me stencil the other one. I think that's probably what I'll do. And then when we get done with this, we'll probably have to pause again for me to get another page ready. Okay. Now, let's see where we're at on here. Okay, it's just a smidge short, which is fine. We're going to glue it on as a pocket. See, that's why we could use this neutral, because I'm not really going to see it. I want to cover up a quote-unquote good page. This isn't a bad page. It's just a non-printed page. So we'll leave a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. We'll put this on here. No, we'll leave the length shorter than the page is what we're going to do. So we'll make it even at the top. So then we'll put this on here. Looks a little wide for what we cut it. So let's cut a little bit off this edge. I don't know how I managed that. Okay. Okay, now we're going to need a magnet. So we'll tape it on, or we'll put it on the underside. There's no reason to make it go through this extra layer of manila folder. We'll move it back a little bit from the edge so the paper doesn't bulge. Well, I mean, it's going to go up anyway, but we don't want it to try to have a gap right there. So we move it in just a little bit. We're going to close this. I think we're going to put it on the back of the page. So let's unfortunately, we had to wait to do this. Let me get this out. It's all right, though. It's narrow enough that we can just, well, almost do both sides. I don't want the line where it meets the edge to be on there, but we know that the side isn't very big. So we won't even need to do the orange on there because we're not going to see it really. That side's kind of goofed up. almost done. Because we don't have to do that back side, it's going to be glued against the paper as a pocket. We do have a little bit more inking to do on this project or this page, but we don't have to do it right now. In fact, we can't. Okay, so now let's, now that we have our magnet that I thought we were going to put on here, let's go ahead and glue this on. Oops. Just glued my bracelet to the page. And I'll give you a secret, all these bracelets are hair ties. I bought this one boho one. There we go. Okay. Then on the inside, I'm going to glue this one. Okay, and I want these little stitches on here. So I want the border. I want the border at the top. I want to cut it here. And I want to cut it there. It looks like one of those little stitches. Maybe I'll cut that off first. Actually should have cut it the other way first, because then I would have had this on the bottom across here. Oops. No. Rose is going up. Daisies are coming down. All right. I'm going to go with the rose that's in the center of the page. Okay, this is going to fit. So we're going to ink this puppy up. I use up so much ink not knowing whether I'm going to use something as a writing page or not, so I'll print on the back of it. On this one, I cut a little small on purpose so you would see more of the border. So I'm going to do the same with this one. In fact, I'm just going to cut it the same. Well, it's narrower than this one already. Alright, let's just go on length. Is this shorter at one end? I mean narrower. So I may just have to get a new piece. This was a scrap. This is 4.5. 3.5. 3.5. Okay. Alrighty then. It's an optical illusion because of the darker paper at the top, I guess. Oh, so I'm watching a new show. Gave up on, I finished the Vampire Diaries a while back, and that was like my third time through on those. It was like 160 episodes. And then I watched all of another series. I don't remember what it was. Then I'm all caught up on the Masked Singer, which I love. And I don't think they have the Masked Dancer anymore. Not a whole lot you can do, I guess, with one of those big masks on. So now I've started this new one called Tyrant. It's on Prime. Boy, is it good. This, I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry. This pediatrician in the U.S. is the brother or the son of a dictator in the Middle East. So his niece is getting married, his brother's daughter, and after 20 years he's decided to go back and visit and go to the wedding. So of course mayhem ensues. He ends up staying. Oops, I guess I gave that away, but it was pretty obvious from the beginning that's what he was going to do. And that's all the further I've gotten. So I'm only on episode, I think, 4. And the first 3 are really good. You know, they introduce the characters. They flesh out their personalities a little bit. They tell you kind of the backstory. Yeah. So it's pretty good. It's got 4 seasons, I think. And that's enough for me to binge watch. If I see a series, even if it looks interesting, but it only has 1 season, I usually don't. I usually don't watch it. I am a picky watcher. Okay. Now, for now, we're going to leave this as it is. I think I'm going to put an acetate belly band on here. When I make the dot, I cut just above it, just barely above it. Guess I want to know, oh, I'll just make it 1.5 inches wide. And cut the length first. No, I'm going to cut it 1.5 inches wide first. It's a little goofy to cut the smaller measurements on this paper trimmer that I have, which is the nicest one of the rotary cutters that Fiskars makes, I believe. It's this bad boy right here. It opens out. I got mine under warranty for free. I had a paper trimmer that was 20 years old, a rotary cutter, and I loved it. It was a platform. It had a handle on the end. It was old, and but I loved it. But the groove where the blade went got kind of chipped up, and so the blade didn't cut straight anymore, and I couldn't use it. It was so sad. You know, I'd only replaced the blade in that thing once in 20 years. It was like the most awesome paper trimmer ever. And I had originally gotten it to use when I had a home office. Anyway, so I called them up and I said, I know Fiskars has a lifetime warranty, but I have a 20-year-old paper trimmer. I don't really expect you to honor the warranty, but I'm just wondering if you're going to honor the warranty. And the guy goes, yeah, lifetime is lifetime. And I'm like, wow. So, is it straight? No, I don't think it is. I think it needs to go that way just a little bit. Yeah. So he says to me, I know the model you're talking about because I described it to him. And I said, I can send you a photograph of it if you need it. And he said, no, probably no one would know that one to describe it if they didn't really have one. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. I'm going to leave this a writing area. I'll put a card in there. I'm going to glue this on as a pocket. So we want this side to be open. And you know what? Let's, no, let's don't. The reason I didn't want to put the magnet right here is because of the pocket. So let's glue it on. So anyway, he says to me, you know, we haven't made that paper trimmer for 10 years. And I'm like, man, I just stuck my finger in that. And I'm like, man, I really like that one. And he said, well, go on the Fiskars webpage, go to the rotary cutter page, pick out whichever one you want. I'm like, wow. Pick out whichever one you want, and we'll send it to you as a replacement for your warranty, since yours is not replaceable and it's not fixable. And I said, okay. Let's see, we wanted it even with the top. Let me That looks nice. Let's put the magnet on the back. Anyway, so I picked out this one. It had a light on it to help you see where the paper should go. I'm thinking, that's cool. That can't be right. There we go. And so I asked for that one. And he said, no, it's out of stock. And I said, well, can I wait on it? And he's like, no, you got to order whatever now. And I'm like, okay. So then they had another one that had the wire, which, no, it didn't have the wire because those are not rotaries. There was another medium-sized one, and they were out of stock on that one. And I was like, well, all right then. I'll take this other one. And it was the last one that was one that I would want, which is that big one. And I'm going to have to be careful putting this paper on because there's a magnet on this side. Where is the magnet? It's over here, right here. And it wants to grab this magnet right here and slide the paper over. So let's glue it on like this so we don't have any troubles. And I think we're just going to end the video after this. Darn it. We have got to get going. I may do these little flip-floppies off camera. They're pretty easy to do. You just take one page, cut it in half so that it lines up into one full picture, leaving the little bit of a border in between. Then on the back sides, you put a paper that you can put a pocket over without having any trouble with, you know, covering up a really good image that you would want to have visible. Now, you know, I probably should have stenciled on that page. Give it a little more interest. But if I lift this up, and if I was careful, I probably could stencil right along this very edge. Well, this is stenciled. I think it's fine. I think it's fine because we'll have a card up here. And we'll have a writing space here. And we'll have images here. Maybe this one, because you can cut it in half right about in the center without cutting the people. But you can have the full image. That would be kind of interesting. I think I will use that one. This is from the photographer's kit. Okay. And then on this back side, on this back side, I've already put the magnets. Remember how I showed you how to do those. On the back side, I might just put this paper for writing paper, and then on the bottom one, put a pocket, a small pocket that fits inside this little frame. So that's what we'll do for that. Okay? And then when we come back, we'll take a look at 12, 13, and 14, hopefully. Yeah, actually, we'll have 12 in the back cover. Huh. this is all we have left to do. We could do the front and the back of this. Five. Yeah, we'll have enough time. We'll have enough time. So what I just said, that's what we're gonna do for that. So this is going to be page 6. Well, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we can knock those out. So then we've worked our way into the photographer's papers. Then we'll go back to the darker papers here. And then I have to decide what I'm going to do on the covers. The front cover I have an idea. But I need to decide whether we're going to have to tie it. I don't think we are. Or not. Okay? Alright, well that's it for this video. And I'll see you in the next video. And that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay? Alrighty then. Bye-bye.